I'm David Manus. I will be talking about, don't be a Git. So I'm talking about Git source control. Maybe it doesn't work so well here, but in English, a Git is a synonym for an asshole. So what I want to show is how to use source control without being an asshole. So yeah. This is me. I work for Magento. Since October, I am in the community engineering team. So, yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Helping you make pull requests, getting out and seeing you guys. Most important thing, I'm wearing a green label today as a speaker. Green means yes, please come talk to me. So I'm open. If you want to come talk to me, feel free anytime. I will need to meet you guys. I want to meet you guys. I want to meet everyone. So come say hi, and let's get on to the topic. So 5 years ago, I started working with Git. Before that, I was using SVN. And then 2 years ago, I started a new way of working, a new system, and it was very different, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to start to get to know Git, because as the image shows, I think a lot of people know some Git and don't know some deep dives. So my aim for today is to try and teach you something about Git. There will be stuff that you do know, and there hopefully will be at least one thing that you have never heard of before, and let's see how it goes. And there is some live coding. It's a demo of Git, but I'm going to try and use people. So if you are too close to the front, you may be involved in this talk. I will try and use people to demonstrate the Git rather than just showing you some commands. So if you are interested in getting involved, I'll call you up if we need you. So the first one is, it's not git add, it's the -p part of git add. So I use Git mostly on the command line, and I use -p all the time, and it stands for patch. And I think I've been in the Ukraine for 2 days now, and I think you guys and girls and developers and whatever will love the -p flag if you don't already know it, because every time someone comes into an office, every time someone leaves an office, everyone gets up and it's a handshake. And they go around and they say, nice to see you, nice to see you. And essentially for Git, that is what the -p is. The -p is your handshake. So I'm going to pick Eugene, because he's looking at me. So Eugene is some code. He is a patch. And he is I don't know, it can be anything. It can be part of a fix from the community for an index problem. And we call git add -p. And Eugene comes over, and we say, nice to meet you. And we explain a little bit. He tells me about what he is. He shows me the code. We show a snippet of the code. And I can decide whether I want to include him in my commit or not. And I say, you know what, I like Eugene. Okay. So please come into the staging area. Then it goes through to the next patch. So, Alessandro, come on up, my friend. This is Alessandro, he's another speaker. Please come talk to him and get to know him as well. And we say, hi, nice to meet you. And in this case, Alessandro is not to do with the index. He's another change that we have in the code base. And it is to do with payment in this case. But my personal preference is I like to keep my commits to one topic as much as possible. And so in this case, I'm actually going to say, when the option comes, I'm going to say, no, I don't want to take this commit. I'm very sorry. You're a nice guy, but I'm not going to take this commit as part of this patch as part of this commit. So we say, no, I'm very sorry. Yeah. So you have to go back to your unstaged area. And so we have our commit, our patch, and we're ready to commit. And so it's good. It's good. You can also use the -p. I'm going to get you really awkwardly to stand here for as long as possible. No, that's fine. You can also use it on the reset, and it's just the opposite of the add. So you will it goes through everything that is staged, and it's the reverse. So it's like leaving the office. And so we stand up and we say, nice to see you again. It was great. But this time, I'm not going to get you involved in the commit. So you can go back. You can go back, sir. Thank you very much. So those are the -Ps. They can work on a lot of the commands, but I find them most useful on the add and the reset. One thing to note is it only works with files that Git knows about. It doesn't work with new files. So if you add a new file, obviously it is an empty file. Git doesn't know about it, so it doesn't know how to do a comparison. So it doesn't know what the difference is. So once we have our patch ready and our commit to go, most of the time, I use the -M on my commit. But if it is a more complex commit, I will not use the -M, and it will open up editor of my choice, normally Nano, I think, at the moment. And then I can give a more detailed description. But what I wanted to point out is to use messages and to use appropriate messages when you're using a commit or when you're giving a commit. As part of the community engineering team, we have a desire to get as much information in the commit as possible. So we like you to include the issue ID. We like you to include maybe the title of the issue, plus what you changed, and also a little bit about why you changed. So we can, because we are not working directly with you, we cannot, unfortunately, come to your desk and ask you what's with this commit, what is the point of it. So we like to try and get as much information as possible. So -M or opening up leaving it blank and giving an editor option is perfect when committing. So as much information will help with the history. The next command I would like to show you is the rebase. And this one involves a lot more people. So I'm going to need help, and because these group are looking, these 5 lovely gentlemen here, could you please come up? And I will take any three people from this side, from the front row, or any row, any 3 people. We've got 2, I need 1 more, perfect. Okay, I hope this is okay for the cameras if you come over here. So what a rebase allows you to do is it allows you to keep everything kind of nicely up to date or nicely organized in your tree. Doesn't often happen, doesn't happen all the time, but in this example, we will take a split here, and we have, Eugene, come with me, please. This, I'm sorry, this is Eugene, and in our instance, Eugene is the stable instance. So let's take the Magento example. So Eugene is 2.2 develop, and he is the current point. And then we will take these 3 wonderful gentlemen, and we make a branch, and these 3 will represent our feature. So if you would come over this side, and from this side of Eugene, we have 1 commit. So come on, 1 commit there, next commit, and next commit here. And Alexi it's okay. Alexi highlights the top of our branch, the highest point of our branch, and that is fabulous. At the same time, while this is being reviewed, this is 1 feature, we then take the 2.2 and we start to make a new feature. And we will take these 4 commits, and they will come over this way. It doesn't work both directions, but it's easier to show it this way. And we add our commits, and here, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I'm just Alexander is the head of our feature, and this is another branch. And that also goes for review and goes for quality assurance. This is in a perfect world. And they're both ready. And the first thing happens is that this feature over here is ready to go and ready to merge. So the head of the 2.2 used to be Eugene, but it's now no longer Eugene. It is now over here at Alexi. And we have a problem here, or at least in my brain, I have a problem, because this point here used to be the head, and this feature think that this is the head. And when we merge that in, we get a weird, if this feature is ready and it gets merged into the 2.2, we kind of get an odd merge kind of tree looking. But the rebase will allow us to change what this feature think is the head of 2.2 from Eugene here to Alexi here. So essentially what we do is we take these commits and we pick them up. You can come with me, all the way over here, and we apply them on top of the order. This guy first, you were the last, then one of them, I don't know, and then, sorry, the last one here. And this is now our feature. I'm sorry for whoever's supposed to be. We're over here. This is now our head of the feature, and it's ready to merge in. And the history is in one line, a little bit more of one line. If you've ever done a git log graph on Magento 2, this is why I like doing a rebase. I don't use it on every project, but it allows you to keep a kind of more ordered log, a more ordered tree. So if you have a problem, you can, in my opinion, you can more easily find the point. So that is a rebase, and thank you very much. You can go down. That is a rebase. I like to use it, but you don't have to use it. Personal preference. There's a question. Is there? Yeah.
The way you explained it.
Yeah.
But if you have developer who makes fix of the fix of the fix of the fix, you can rebase it during the merge to one commit.
Yes.
Yeah. Change the message, the fix of the fix of the fix into just the final version.
Yeah.
And have clean tree of this fix of the fix.
Very true. Yeah, so often, so if you didn't hear that, rebase will allow you also to edit your commits if you need to later, and it also allows you to squash. So if you, like me, take a while to find the right fix, okay, then you may have 10 commits for one feature, and before you want to merge it in, you might think, actually, that 10 commits, I don't want them, I want it to be one commit for that feature, and at that point, you can do a rebase and tell it to squash these commits together as one commit. But that's hard to demonstrate, I think.
How often do you have conflicts while rebasing?
With a rebase?
Yeah.
In my previous job, I tried to rebase fairly regularly. So we were about 3 or 4 developers working together. So we were pushing the product quite quickly. So I would just set aside time in the morning to take the most recent changes from that night and rebase my branches. Yeah, sometimes you would have conflicts and you'd have to fix them, but it's better to fix them before the final merge, is my brain. My brain is you might not be the person doing the merge, so if you do have conflicts, fixing them before so someone else can merge.
And what is for other developers which need to pull all these changes to their repository?
As long as they don't have problem with rebase is because it changes the history. If someone has a local version of that branch, it gets a little lost. You can use, as long as you communicate with your team, I never found an issue with it. You just tell someone that the history has changed, and please do a git reset origin branch name, and it will update appropriately. But yeah, that is something to look out for. Key there would be communication whenever you do a rebase or a force push. Communication to your team is key. So the next one is a git bisect. Does anyone know, has anyone used a git bisect? Oh, okay, cool. Maybe when I show it, you will notice what it is. So I just got you to sit down, but I'll need everyone back up again. So if you're still interested, come on. Come on, say hi. All right, so here is the wonder. You can come up as well if you want. Hang on, how many people do I need? I need 8. So we're up to 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3 more, yeah, come same 3. So what a git bisect does is it allows you to automatically helps you to find bugs, is basically what it is. It is a binary tree search. And so let's say this is our point in history, and I know that Alexi is a good commit. So yes. Then I go on holiday, And I don't know, where should I go? I'll go to Hawaii, okay? And I'm away for 2 weeks, and my team still develop, and they develop, and they develop, and you see we have all these commits here. And then I come back from Hawaii, and I've got a nice tan to start with, so that's good. But we have a problem, because we're at this commit, and there's a bug. Now, it might not be his fault. It might not be his fault. But there are so many commits in the middle, and I'm not entirely sure which one the problem was introduced in. So git bisect will allow you to find out where the good or bad commit is. So what you do with your git bisect is you state the most recent bad commit. I'm sorry. It might not be him. We'll find out. It's like a good murder mystery. And we state the best, the last recent, the last good commit that I know about. And what git bisect does is it goes, okay, what's the middle point of that? So the middle point, wonderful. Git will reset us to this middle point. Hang on. Can I have one more person, please? I honestly, one more person, anyone. Someone, let's stand someone in here. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so I needed 9 people. This is our middle point, and it resets us to here. And it says, is this a good or a bad commit? And in this case, it's a good commit. Okay, so this means all of these commits, you're good. You're good, and you're good, and you're good. Okay, so what that tells us is the problem is with one of these 4 lovely gentlemen. And so we say, this is our good commit. So now this is the good commit, and this is still the bad commit. And it says again, okay, what's the middle point? So we're here. And it says, I say, and I check it, because I've got tests, and I say, this one's the bad commit. So these guys are good. One of these 2 guys is bad. So we say this is our bad commit, and then the next step that bisect will do is it will reset us to this commit. This should be red. Spoiler alert. And we say, is this bad or good? We run our tests, and we find out that it is bad. So this is the commit we have to fix. And this is where our bug was introduced, and we can debug it from this point. But knowing this means we know exactly what this commit is. We can look at the diff, we can do a bit more of a deep dive, and we should know, it should be easier for us to debug, because we don't have to worry about these guys, they're all good. We don't need to worry about these guys, they're also all good. And it's just this one that we have to focus on. I'm very, very sorry. Nice to meet you. Perfect, and that is a bisect. How you fix that bug, I won't show you. You can deal with that yourself. But that is how to narrow down, like a good detective, where your bugs are. So thank you, everyone. You may come back. You may come back. So that is bisect. If you've never used it, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're working with other people's code that you don't quite know about. It's quite good to find out a bug if you're not entirely sure about the code. This one, I'm going to guess that there are very, very few people that know re. And I put down in my notes on the slides what it stands for, and I can't see my notes here. I think it stands for reuse recorded resolution. Yeah, that makes sense. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to essentially save. If you have a merge conflict and you fix that merge conflict, it will allow you to save what you did to resolve that conflict, and it will try to then automatically apply that fix if you have the same problem again. So in this example, I'm going to need the guys up again. I'm very sorry. It'll be up and down, up and down. So I'm going to just take these 5 gentlemen. We don't need that many. So, and I will take 2 over here and 2 over here. And Alexi is our change. He is our change, but we've got some conflicts. And this is how I would use this. If you have multiple versions and you have to support multiple versions at one, re can be very, very good if you haven't already solved your conflicts. So in this example, since we're at a Magento event, this can be, these two gentlemen here are 2.1 develop, and the ones over there will pick 2.3 develop. I don't know where 2.2 is, they didn't turn up. And we want to apply Alexi to these, but he has a conflict. So what we can do is we can enable re. It is a git config value, so you have to set git config.re equals true, I think, or enabled equals true. I'm not 100% sure. But that is what you enable. And now when we take Alexi and we introduce him to this branch here, we see the problem. We fix the conflict, and Git remembers it. So it takes a note, and it goes, OK. And now he is part of this one. But then when we want to apply him to this one, we take Alexi over here, and we have this piece of paper, and it's like a visa when you go through passport control, and we say, hi, guys. This is how you fix the problems with Alexi. And it will automatically do it for you if the problems are the same. It's not super smart, so it has to be the same issues over and over again. But I found it quite useful when I was working with multiple versions and trying to apply the same patches to multiple versions. If you have conflicts, setting it to enabled and reusing it automatically is beautiful for me. So thank you for the, I hope that was a good demonstration of re. One very thing to note about re is basically it tracks everything you do in Git. So if you have it enabled and you work for 3-4 weeks, your hard drive fills up quite quickly because it doesn't know exactly what you will need it for, so it tracks everything that you have done. Every time you do a change, every time you do a merge or whatever, it will track the diff so that it has the patch ready if it needs it. So it can be very, very powerful, but if you have it on all the time, you need a very powerful or big machine. So what I tend to do is I only enable it when I need it, and then turn it off when it's done. Has anyone ever heard of re before today? One. Damn it. So I'm very sorry if today you learned nothing new, but you were involved in the talk, so that's fine. Last time I gave this talk, no one had heard of re, and everyone had heard of the -p and the merge, the rebase and the bisect, so at least they learned something new. So my final thoughts is Git is super, super powerful, so use it. If you want to use it in your IDE, perfect, use it. If you want to use it on the command line, use it. I'm not going to shame anyone. I like using the command line because the person that taught me used the command line. That's probably the only reason, if I'm honest. Learn from it. There are still lots and lots of features of Git that I don't know, and I've been trying to learn it for 5+ years, and I'm fairly sure I'll keep trying to learn it and keep finding things that go, oh, that's amazing. Love it. I love using Git. Hate it. I also hate using it sometimes. And you're halfway through a merge and you're like, no, let's just abort the whole thing and start again. I've been there and it's so frustrating. Yeah, so if you would like to learn a bit more, I can highly recommend the Git workbook. It is from Lorna Mitchell. She is a UK-based, I think she's in the UK. She is from the UK. I don't know if she's in the UK. And this is a fantastic resource, and it will pretty much tell you anything you need to know about Git. I can highly recommend it. It's very cheap as well, which is nice. The YouTube link is a talk that she gave, which is basically the whole book in a presentation. I can't remember how long it lasted, probably like a couple of hours. I think it was a workshop. And then, of course, Git SCM is a perfect online kind of manual tutorial. But if you're using the command line, then Gitman is your Git manual. You can get that on the command line as well. I think it's pretty much the same thing. And that's it.